Have you ever just stopped and wondered, how do these websites we use every single day actually get made? It can feel like some kind of tech magic, but by the end of this, you're going to have the keys to build your very own piece of the internet. So let's just dive right in.
So you're just scrolling, clicking, maybe shopping online, and everything, it just works, right? But have you ever really thought about what's going on behind the curtain? How does a completely blank screen turn into a web page with text, images, and links? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack.
And look, I can promise you, it's not some kind of digital wizardry, not at all. It's really just a language. It's got its own words, its own rules, its own grammar. And seriously, by the time we're done here, you're going to be able to speak your first sentence. So yeah, behind every single thing you click on, every picture you see, every word you read online, there's this kind of secret language making it all happen. It's the universal code that all browsers, Chrome, Firefox, you name it, they all speak it. It's the foundation of, well, everything. And it all kicks off with this one big idea: hypertext. Now, this isn't your average everyday text. Nope, this is text with a superpower. And that superpower is the ability to connect to other things. This whole concept of linking, of jumping from one page to another with just a click, that is the absolute heart of the web. So how do we actually make this hypertext? Well, we use something called a markup language. And this language uses these little special symbols called tags to wrap around our text. The cool part is, you don't actually see these tags on the final website. They're like secret instructions for your browser, telling it how to show everything on the screen. Okay, here's the easiest way to think about it, and you're going to want to remember this. HTML is the skeleton. It provides the basic structure, the bones of a web page. And CSS? That's all the style. It's the clothes, the cool haircut, the personality that makes the skeleton look good. And getting this partnership is so important because this isn't just for fun little projects. This is the bedrock of the entire digital economy, from the biggest news sites to your favorite little online shop. All right, so let's zoom in a bit. Let's really look at these building blocks and see how this whole thing actually fits together. We're about to get up close and personal with those tags we just mentioned. So what even is a tag when you get right down to it? Just think of them like little command labels. You're basically telling the browser, hey, this bit of text right here, I want you to make it a big headline. Or, see this block? That's a paragraph. They are the absolute non-negotiable building blocks of a web page. Okay, let's break down what we're looking at. An HTML element usually has three parts. You've got your opening tag, then the actual content, the text or whatever, and then a closing tag. See that little / in the closing tag? That's super important. That's the signal to the browser that the command is done. It's a really simple system, but it's incredibly powerful. And believe it or not, tags basically come in two main flavors. Most of them are what we call container tags. They, contain stuff. They have an opening tag and a closing tag, like for a paragraph. But then you have empty tags. These guys are solo acts. They don't need a closing tag because they just do one specific job, like making a line break or putting an image on the page. Simple as that. Okay, what you're seeing here, this is the basic blueprint for pretty much every single web page on the internet. You always start with an HTML tag. Inside that, you have a head, which holds all the background info, like the title you see in the browser tab. And then you have the body, and that's where all the good stuff goes, all the text and images you actually see on the page. All right, that's enough theory, right? Let's be real. The best way to learn this stuff is to actually do it. So let's get our hands dirty and build your very first web page, like right now from scratch. And you don't need any fancy, expensive software for this. Seriously, just open up something simple like Notepad or TextEdit if you're on a Mac. Then we're just going to type in that basic blueprint we just looked at. Okay, take a look at this code. See? There are those tags we just talked about, the HTML, the head, and the body. Inside that head section, we've given our page a title. And down in the body, we've written our first sentence. This is it. This is the core of every website out there. Okay, now for what is probably the most important step of all, we're going to save the file. But, and this is a big but, you can't just save it as a normal text file. You have to name it, and then at the very end, you have to type .html. That tiny little .html at the end, that's the magic key. It's what tells your computer, hey, this isn't just a text file, this is a web page. So when that Save As box pops up, you've got to make sure you type it in the file name box just like that, first_webpage.html. I'm not kidding, this part is absolutely crucial. And now, for the moment of truth. The big reveal. Go find that file you just saved, give it a double click, and boom, there it is. It opens right up in your browser. The title you wrote is up in the tab. Your sentence is right there on the page. How cool is that? You literally just made a website.
Okay, that is awesome, but let's be honest, it's a little, plain, right? We've got the skeleton, which is great, but now it's time for the fun part, giving it some style. Let's move into the makeover phase.
I mean, a black and white page works, sure, but it's not exactly going to win any design awards. It's a bit boring. This is where that second language, CSS, jumps into the action to give our page some real personality. So CSS, or cascading style sheets, its whole job is to make things look good. You know, there's a really great way to think about this. If HTML is the plant itself, right, the stem and the leaves, then CSS is the flower. It's the bright colors, the petals, the thing that makes you go, wow.
And this is where the real magic happens. Look at this. We just add a little style tag into our code, pop in one single line of CSS, and instantly the entire background of our page changes. It's that fast and that powerful. That's CSS for you.
So think about it. In just a couple of minutes, you've gone from knowing nothing to holding the actual keys to creating stuff on the web. You understand the structure with HTML, and you understand the style with CSS. No, really, stop and think about what you just did. You didn't just follow a recipe. You didn't just copy and paste. You literally wrote instructions in a new language, and a computer understood you perfectly and brought your idea to life. That is a truly powerful skill to have. So, you've just learned the secret language of the web. You've built the skeleton. You've given it some style. The power is now in your hands. The question now is, what story are you going to tell with it?